What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GmiasWorld. Today we're going to be going over the Gauntlet 3 on Legend difficulty. All the challenges, 5 stars. I'm going to go through all of them. You can clearly see that I've already done it, but I love you guys so much, and I apologize to all of you guys for not recording it when I did it. In the future, I will make sure that I'm recording it so that we don't have to go back. I had to go back and redo everything just to show it to you guys, but I know a lot of you guys are home. It's play at home, it's stay at home. Here's something that you guys can actually watch and go through it and just know, like, look, all right, this is what I need to do, and you can kind of, replicate what I'm doing right now and kind of get you through it. So the first one, I'm gonna make sure you guys see it, score 14 points in 5 total plays, and then you gotta get the celebration points. All right, now, what you're gonna notice is, for many of my plays, I like to come out under center, simply because the CPU won't play dime and nickel and all that weird stuff, and they usually make it easier for your players to get wide open on streaks. That's pretty much why I do what I do against the CPU, because like I said, with me, when I'm going through the grind, I already know how EA Sports aligns the way that they call the defenses. Right here, this is the best way for you guys to do it with the celebration points, by the way. Just go for a 2-point conversion. Eric Dickerson or any running back that has like evasive and spin and juke and stuff like that, you'll be able to get away with this. Pretty much for the same thing. It's best if you can do all of this and still get the 2-point conversion, because you have to do it in a limited amount of plays. So all the celebration that I just did, and then I'm still going to be able to go back. And why was I able to do all of that? You guys guessed it, because I'm on arcade mode. And then I'm still celebrating, going through there. So you're going to see, you go for the 2-point conversion, celebrate all the way around, you spin around a little bit, it's arcade. You go to the left, go to the right, and then you should still be able to get that 2 points. Now, this is the kicker. When the CPU gets the ball back, you have to do everything in your power to be able to get a fumble or a turnover, because everything counts as a play. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the 3rd play right here, all right, with actually kicking the ball off. So I know a lot of you guys are having issues like, why are they counting plays like that or something like that? Like, what's going on? Well, pretty much every single thing is a play. So this is the fumble that we get on 2nd down. So this was actually the 5th play, because you can see it's 2nd and 15, and then we just run it in. And the reason you go for 2 and get it is because that way you get 8, and then when you get a turnover, you see what I'm saying, you just get the 6, and then there's 14 points in 5 total plays. You get the celebration run, and then you're on to the next one. All right, so that's the first one that's down right there. We're gonna go ahead to number 2, and pretty much right here, you're gonna have to rush 10 plus yards on 5 plays in a row. Remember, you're doing the hardest part of it, so that's pretty much what you're focused on when you're looking at the bonus. Because if you want to get the 5 stars, which I want for all of you, you got to do the most difficult part of the bonus, and that usually includes obviously everything else, the requirements and everything else that goes into it. So pretty much what you're going to want to do, the playbook that's being used in this video right now for the entirety of the whole video is the Seahawks Playbook. All right, I'm going to run stretch, and I'm just going to run, it's just basic stretch. Now, you can run Oakland also and just run stretch. Stretch is stretch. It just so happens that I was using the Seattle Seahawks playbook. No particular reason. It's either going to be the Raiders or Seahawks, because they have the best stretches in the game. And you're going to want to make sure that when you're running the stretch, obviously that, I motion my guy over to the side right there, because I want to align my tight end with the side that has the most players. Unless I come out right here and I just don't care, and I'm just like, yo, you know what? I'm about to just run this ball right quick. I'm about to run it. And then make sure you fall down L2, R2, and the square button. If you're on Xbox, I think that's the X button for you guys, to kind of lay down after you get every one of the yards, the 10-yard segments. Make sure you do that. Eric Dickerson is like a godsend for this. When I first did it, I didn't have any abilities on my running back. Having abilities on your running back makes this so much easier. So doing it again was a lot easy. It was a lot more easier than the first time I did it, because I was going through some crazy times when I did it the first time, and I see now how easier it is, because if you have those abilities with the spin, the juke, and things like that, it's so much easier to get everything done. All right, so right here, obviously you have to go ahead and get a touchdown on this final run, so you got to make sure that you actually score, and that's pretty much what we do there. So stretch, go iPro, IH Pro, Seahawks, run stretch. It is what it is. So we did everything 10 yards on 5 plays in a row. We rushed for a touchdown on the 5th play. Next one is score a touchdown in 3 plays, score a touchdown on the 1st play, and execute a dive. Relatively easy, like I said, but I'm going to give you guys a nice little tip and something that the CPU doesn't respond to very, very well. What you're going to want to do is, when you go into this specific challenge, you're going to want to go ahead and go, with Randy. If you do have a Randy Moss or Calvin Johnson, whatever, you just, like I said, same thing, but use play action in iPro and just streak whoever you have. they usually will beat the coverage, and then obviously you press square or you press the X button to dive, and that'll be 5 stars. That one is the easiest one. Everybody that's been asking questions about it, but like I said, everybody got that one, no problem. Right here with scoring a touchdown on the first play and executing, I don't know why that was so crazy, executing 7 ball carrier moves on that same thing. What I'm going to go ahead and explain to you guys thoroughly, right? This is the situation. You're going to want to do everything. You're going to want to you're going to want to spam the stiff arm. You're going to want to juke. You're going to want to try to hurdle. You're going to want to try to truck. You want to do everything, like every single thing you can do. You see what I'm saying? And then still keep doing stuff when you get into the end zone. Usually when you just spam the stiff arm, you'll get the 7. But when you spam stiff arm, then you go to a juke, then you go to a truck, then you hurdle, it usually registers all 7, which is probably the easiest way to go ahead and get that done. This one right here is very, very unique because you pretty much can get 42 points and end it, but you can't allow any points, you can't punt, and you have to gain a 35-point plus lead. Now, in this part of the segment, I'm going to show you guys again, which most of my veterans already know. When it comes down to it, running the double A gap mid blitz is the best thing to stop the CPU from scoring. All right, like it's the best thing. You just play on the guy that's supposed to be on the running back. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of show it to you guys in case you're new. You're just joining the GmiasWorld fam and you want to know, like, yo, bro, how is your defense just screaming every single snap? Well, pretty much you're gonna blitz everybody. You just send every single player. I know it sounds easy. Well, it's better. What is it? It's easier said than done, or whatever that saying is. But it's honestly just the same exact thing. You're just sending everybody. And then remember, when they punt you the ball, scoring any way possible is permitted. So with punt returns like I'm doing right now, you're going to want to go ahead and get that done however you can. The faster you get to 42 points, the faster the game is over. That's all I care about. That's all you care about. Just get it done. You also will notice that I'm missing a lot of extra points. That's because the wind is stupid and I just could not for the life of me be able to do anything. I just honestly couldn't. So right here, I'm setting up the double A gap. I'm putting the players that I want in the game to be there. And then I'm coming down on the player that's supposed to be defending the running back. And then I'm sending everybody. The computer's going to throw the ball very, very fast. You're going to get a lot of interceptions. You're going to get a lot of sacks. No, you do not need to spread the D-line like I'm doing right now. I just spread it because I'm used to spreading the D-line all the time for my blitzes. But you can see they scream right down out of mid-blitz. It's just so easy to do it, guys, running mid-blitz and just playing on that player. Your job is the halfback. You don't do nothing else but play on that halfback. Everybody else would do their job. They'll sack the quarterback. It'll be over. So doing that continuously over and over again will make sure that you get all those plays off and that you won't have issue with stopping the CPU. And then obviously, like I said, iPro, run play action against the CPU. Eric Dickerson at a wide receiver is going to be pretty good for you guys as well if you guys wanted to try that out. But just any play action and just throw the ball deep on streaks. And make sure, like I said, you come out in that H Pro set because they usually give you favorable defenses. On to the next one. This one is a very, very difficult one that a lot of you guys had issues with. Pass for 12 yards on 7 plays in a row and score a touchdown on the 7th pass. Well, pretty much in the Seattle Seahawks playbook, you're going to want to go to the tight shotgun formation, which we're going to go to right now. I'm going to go ahead and show it to you guys. And you're going to want to go ahead and throw drag routes to your tight end and go for as many yards as you can up until the 12. And then that's pretty much it. So gun tight slots, you're going to run mesh. All right. The mesh play, you're going to go ahead and you're going to wait for the tight end to get open. The trick to this is you're going to want to move your quarterback slightly to the right so that the defense will allow you to be able to get the guy open on the left. So when you move to the right, everybody kind of shifts to the right and then it leaves the guy open to the left. And you just keep doing it and falling down every single 12 yards. That's all you're doing here, guys. It's not like it's rocket science. It's nothing weird. You should be able to go always with that little shift to the right, keep getting the guy open on the left, and keep just doing it over and over again. And, pretty much it's going to be simple. At some point, remember, you got to throw the ball very, very quickly because you got 2 seconds to release the ball with this specific one right here. So as you take that step, you're holding the button to go ahead and bullet pass it because it's like 1, 2, out. The ball has to be out. And then remember, it's arcade mode. So you will be able to do stiff arms, trucks, and things like that. Just make sure you're running downhill. All right. And you could just, like, the way that I do it is I like to hurry up offense with it because when I hurry up offense, it doesn't give the CPU a chance to come out and do whatever they want with new defenses. And it's the same thing all the way up the field. You're easy, right here, I wanted to make sure that I was, it was man coverage because Man coverage is kind of ideal, obviously, because you're throwing the drag. So sometimes I'll do that to kind of like offset the defense, and then I'll hike the ball and do it again, because that way I know he's going to be open. And then right here, like I said, it's arcade mode. Stiff arm him in the face, go for 6, and go ahead and get all that done with that one right there, which is one of the more difficult ones that many of you guys are having issues with. But that's pretty much how I always do it. I usually don't have issues with those. This one right here, force a safety. This is very, very important that you guys understand that. This is more of like the tug of war thing. So what you're gonna have to do, obviously you gotta execute a user tackle, and you gotta force a safety in 3 plays. So what's gonna happen is, because it's tug of war, once you stop them, I thought we had a safety here, but he was like at the 1. If you do that in the same situation, you're gonna wanna go ahead and get the ball to the 1 yard line and lay down or go out of bounds when it's your go. Do not score. You got 3 plays to make that happen. You execute the user tackle by, doing the first play. All right. And then now you lay down at the 1. Why do you lay down at the 1? Because you're going to come out in 3-4 odd. You're going to run cover 4 drop. You're going to spread your D line, and you're going to run commit using L1 and down on the right stick. And you're going to fly in there like a savage. And you're going to go ahead and grab that safety. Like, that's what's going to happen. And it doesn't matter that they're in like a shotgun formation or they're in a passing formation. Doesn't matter. You're still run committing, and you're trying to go ahead and get that sack. That should let you end up with those 5 stars there. Then we're going to go ahead and head on to the new one. We'll go ahead and take a look at it now. So you have to earn 1,000 sprint points, earn 2,000 sprint points, rush for 3 touchdowns in the first half, and win the game. So some of you guys were asking about the whole thing with the sprint points. Pretty much you're just holding R2. But I know it seems kind of weird because the way the game is set up, you're like, how am I supposed to get that many sprint points in this limited amount of time? Well, I'm going to go ahead and show it to you, because another thing that EA did to make this difficult, they gave you like more of a West Coast feel with the near and far, and they also locked the plays so that you only get 1 chance at them. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to run the near, pretty much I'm going to go ahead and speed it up with the halfback. You're going to want to run the near. You're going to want to run whatever dive they have available to you. And then with special teams, you're going to use that field goal, trick play where you give the ball to the kicker. Then you're going to run around holding R2. He was kind of slow that time right there, so it's not a big deal. It is what it is. Then you're going to come out. You're going to still play the same type of defense. You're going to go wild and do whatever you want. Try to, when you hold R2 right there, they don't register it on defense. So that's going to be kind of an issue for a lot of you guys. Just remember, the whole time that we're doing everything that we're doing, we're still focused on getting the sprint points. So right here, you see I'm running around doing weird stuff. I'm holding the R2 button the entire time. I'm continuing to accumulate more and more sprint points. But again, I get a lot of it by just doing the fake with the field goal and giving the ball to the kicker. All right, now I'm just holding R2, going side to side, taking my time. I'm going to speed it up so you guys don't have to worry about watching it, but that's what I'm doing. And you can see that that's how you accumulate the points in a relatively, easy time. Like, it's not going to take you that long to do it. Right here, we go ahead, we get a sack. Remember, you do have to get the touchdowns. So make sure that you understand that you still need to get those 3 touchdowns or whatever that's needed in the game. So same thing again. You're going to do the fake, run around side to side, speed it up there. Keep doing it side to side, and just make sure you're holding the R2 button. We at 17.99 right now. Going ahead, still sending everybody, blitzing the CPU out of their minds, getting the ball back, doing dances, doing whatever we want, getting the ball back again. And then now, remember, you can also sub in your halfback for the fake punt and use that to get additional, sprint points. Whenever you feel like not using the near and the far, you could always use this. That's pretty much the easiest way to kind of finish it off, because what happens is when they lock the plays, a lot of you guys are like, yo, what do I do when they lock the plays? Well, you put your running back in and you just let him do whatever he wants, and make sure you're holding R2 the whole time, and you're going to get all those sprint points and you'll be good to go. And that's pretty much what you have to do right there. So this is the situation going forward right now. Right after you did that one, which like I said, that one is relatively easy. It's just like, having the special teams play, rush for 3 touchdowns should be very, very easy for you guys at this point. Do not allow a touchdown, force a turnover, and score a defensive touchdown. Now, the unique thing about this, it's on arcade mode. So anytime you go for a hit stick, the CPU is usually going to fumble the ball. All right, most of the time when they do this, you look in the top left and you see arcade mode, you're usually going to get a fumble. The problem is, will you be able to pick it up, which I didn't on that play. But again, the CPU is going to cheat, but whatever. We know we're going to get one now because we're going to hit stick him. And then all you got to do, like I said, once you got to be able to have a little bit of stick and run that for 6. And that's pretty much what Julius Peppers was just able to do right there. So that one is not that difficult. I know a lot of you guys didn't have issues with that one, so I just, breezed through that one really, really quickly. Now, the final gauntlet, right? You got to win the game by 24, rush for 3 touchdowns, pass for 3 touchdowns, and earn 2,000 sprint points. You got to score a touchdown on the first play, force a safety, allow 75 or fewer total yards. Now, this is where it gets very, very interesting, right? A lot of this game, because it's in like the tug of war, situation where it goes back and forth wherever you stop the ball, we're gonna do the same thing. But in this right here, we're gonna actually make sure that we have Dickerson at wide receiver to start the game. We're gonna keep that going to make sure we get all our touchdowns passing that way. We're gonna do the same thing as far as like getting the speed points. Right there, we're celebrating, but it still counts for sprint points because you're still holding the R2 button in most cases. When you hold R2, L2, and then you celebrate while holding X or A. Right there, I just throw it up again because I don't care about anything at all. It's arcade mode, so it doesn't matter. Now I do the actual sprint thing, side to side, run backwards, do whatever. Get as many sprint points as we can with that. Right here, same thing again, Randy Moss this time. We're running play action, we're throwing streaks, and that's all that we're doing. The CPU usually will not defend those streaks. And then we're gonna go ahead with the 2-point conversion and continue to run side to side and accumulate more and more sprint points because we wanna get that whole threshold done. So right now we have 18-10, that's fine. We're gonna keep playing defense. Like I told you guys before, defensively when you hold the sprint button, that does not count, so it doesn't really matter when you look at it along those lines, so it's not a big deal. Theoretically, you have to be on offense for the sprint, whatever things to count, the sprint points. Right here, we get the fumble. I really wanted the safety, but remember, it's tug of war. So all you want to do is just stop at the 1 when it's your offensive possession, and then let them get the ball back, and then you do what you have to do. But right here, we're going to go ahead, before we even get into all that, and just, get the rest of that sprint stuff done. So we got all of our 2,000 sprint points by running around like idiots back at, whatever. Right here, we're going to stiff arm that guy right quick. And then over here, we're going to get stopped at the 1. They get the ball back. We come out. We're blitzing everybody. We're just sending everybody, just screaming. It doesn't matter, bro. Run, commit, do whatever you got to do. We got to get that safety. I showed you earlier, typically what I like to do is just simply go into 3-4, cover 4 drop, and just run, commit, and do whatever I want. Running the ball is very, very easy. You run stretch. I showed you that as well. Going to go ahead and speed it up. Run stretch again. It's arcade mode. You're going to get stiff arm animations and all that other good stuff. Same thing again. The 3rd touchdown. Running stretch, whatever. All the while, you're going to want to make sure, like, go ahead and check where you are with your challenge goals. You see how we have everything already done right there? All we got to do is hold them to a certain amount and waste time. So you hike the ball, and you're going to want to keep the ball around this area. So even if they get lucky, scoring the points won't beat you. You see what I'm saying? But if you give them too much of a long field and they get lucky because it's arcade mode, that can really hurt you. So you're going to want to run around, a little bit. Just make sure that you don't really have it to a situation where they can get 75 plus yards on a fluke play. You know what I'm saying? Like right here, we got a fumble, so we could easily go ahead and just, run around a little bit. And then now we're going to go ahead and stay right around the same area. After we run up a little bit, come back down, burn more clock, because this takes a lot of time, because it's like 2 minutes, but it's tug of war and no time goes off and you can't really chew clock. And then finally, like I said, you just keep on staying around this area, running around in circles, winding the clock down. And then once it's all said and done, you just fall on the ground. That's pretty much all of them completed. 5 stars. It's exactly what you wanted. I apologize for not recording it when I first did it. Hopefully all of you guys, while you're grinding at home, have all the information and you can share it with a friend if they are also having difficulty with it. But that's all of it together. If you have not already subscribed, please feel free to do so right now. I would love for you guys to make sure you're, keeping your distance 6 feet, keeping your family safe, washing your hands, and doing everything possible to help us get through the crisis that the entire world is facing right now. Stay at home, play at home. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys and girls next time. One love, y'all.